Chamblee. It's Sunday, January 22nd, 2017. Oh my. Broadcasting from Chamblee, Atlanta, the next great American city. Wanted to show you this. It's Bob Dylan. It's a song called God on Our Side, and
something to tell you something.
Very interesting today in the breaking news. USA Today. President Donald Trump remarking about the particular marchers that something to the effect that did they vote? And you know, I say that too. Maybe the time has come for a different strategy. A different strategy for freedom and rights and civil rights. And once again, Derekh, Chamblee, Cyber Citizen Network. It's a beautiful day in Atlanta, Georgia, and there's a lot of excitement today. A lot of excitement. Primarily about the championship game in the National Football League. The Atlanta Falcons hosting the National Football Conference championship game here in Atlanta today against the Green Bay Packers. And so there's a lot of excitement here. I'm from Minnesota, of course, St. Paul, Minneapolis, and the last time that the Atlanta Falcons were in a championship game, it was in Minneapolis, and the game went into overtime after our field goal kicker, Gary Anderson, missed a chip shot. And Morton Anderson, the other Anderson, managed to make his field goal in overtime. And the Atlanta Falcons went on to the Super Bowl. They lost that Super Bowl. So today, here in Atlanta, Georgia, the 5th Congressional District, by the way, of John Lewis and Congressman John Lewis and former Congressman Andrew Young, and even going all the way back to Stephen Corker. We mentioned that before. And so there's a lot of excitement here today in Atlanta, Georgia. And the hope is that the Atlanta Falcons will beat the Green Bay Packers today and go on to the Super Bowl. And in the night game, starting after 8 o'clock, is the game between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the New England Patriots, and from the American Football Conference. And at any rate, a lot of excitement here for the game time is 4:40 here in Atlanta, Georgia, hosting the championship game in the National Football League. And so, of course, here in the 5th Congressional District, we're cheering for the Atlanta Falcons. It doesn't matter what color you are, really. And that's what we're talking about here. That the civil rights movement must be expanded to include every man, every woman, every child throughout the world. And it's very interesting. You know, Bob Dylan's from Duluth, Minnesota, and he happens to be Jewish. And it's quite a song, God on Our Side. And the lyrics are quite interesting. So at any rate, in the audio in the backdrop is it's a video off of YouTube. Might even be a bootleg, a video off of YouTube of Bob Dylan. But back to the protests. We covered that yesterday. The women's marches throughout the country, protests all the way on almost every continent, including Australia. In particular, protests in the United Kingdom and England, protests in New York, Chicago. We also covered the protest arrest on January 7th in Tampa, Florida, of the leadership of the Food Not Bombs group in the Gaslight Park, right across from the police station in downtown Tampa. Their arrest ordered by Mayor Bob Buckhorn, and we covered that before, that he's working with Police Chief Eric Ward and the Tampa Police Criminal Intelligence Bureau, along with Homeland Security and Central Command based out of MACDILL, Tampa, to engage in domestic spying and to utilize the particular cyber equipment of Homeland Security, along with, and I called them before, quasi-military instruments, equipment, to suppress all protests and crush dissent against Mayor Bob Buckhorn. And this is the model that I talked about before, that is being adopted out of Central Command, MacDill Air Force Base, in connection with Homeland Security and the intelligence community through the cyber world, as well as the real world, as far as these particular military types of weapons to be utilized against the citizens of the United States of America, and through the cyber world to engage in illegal domestic spying, ultimately to arrest and jail the leadership, ultimately to label these groups like Food Not Bombs has been tagged with the label of possibly being a terrorist organization. But in that part, and we have Bob Dylan, God on Our Side, wonderful song. At any rate, if God is on our side, can He stop the next war? And these protests are going to be broken down in mentioned that before, the 100 largest cities. The mayors and the police chiefs and the city councils and the citizens in the 100 largest cities must reach some sort of agreement where we have our First Amendment rights, freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom of assembly, and freedom of the press. And this current president, and this is day three, is basically saying today, where were the marchers in the election? Did they vote? And I say that too. It's time to move on to other forms of protest, and we're issuing a warning today to all the protest groups. And it's not just Food Not Bombs in Tampa, Florida. It's not just Food Not Bombs. It's Occupy. It's Justice for Tampa that demonstrates in that same Gaslight Park. Interesting movie, Gaslight, and some articles that came out a few days ago saying that the president-elect at that time is gaslighting the United States of America, according to the movie Gaslight, psychologically. Well, anyway, Gaslight Park, downtown Tampa, right across from the police station, is a site, a park, where there are a lot of signs, a lot of protesters making their particular political point. So it's not just food, not bombs. And Mayor Bob Buckhorn has said that these groups, Black Lives Matter, Homeless Lives Matter, are joined by other fringe groups, the American Civil Liberties Union, the NAACP, according to Mayor Bob Buckhorn, are fringe groups. And so this is really an infringement on our freedoms here in the United States of America. And the mayors of the major cities, their police chiefs, their police departments, their city councils have to find some kind of way to ensure that we have our First Amendment rights. This is Derekh Chamblee. It's Sunday, January 22nd, 2017, Chamblee, Atlanta. The next great American city, Battlegroundzero, the epicenter of the civil defense of the United States of America, the epicenter of the soul of America in the civil rights movement, and the 5th Congressional District of Congressman John Lewis, that the president said is all talk and no action. And so this is our message today to the protesters and the marchers around the country. Thank you very much.